All right, let's jump right in. What we're going to explore today is this really powerful framework for, well, for conscious self-creation. It's about how to forge your own path, your own meaning in this wild and complex digital world we all live in. And that really cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? I mean, with so much noise out there, so many things telling us who we should be, how do we find, and more importantly, how do we write our own authentic story? That's the big challenge we're tackling. You know, for a lot of us, and I think especially for creative people, it feels like we're facing this huge crisis of meaning. And it's like a battle being fought on two fronts, one that's inside of us and one that's coming from the outside world. So on the inside, we're all wrestling with what you could call the imposter's shadow. You know that feeling, that nagging fear that you're not good enough, that you're a fraud. And then externally, we're up against the spectre of the algorithm, this just rising tide of generic AI-generated content that can honestly make our own human creativity feel, well, kind of small, maybe even pointless. So what do we do? How do we even begin to push back against all that and find our real voice in the middle of all this chaos? Well, the answer, according to this framework, starts by turning inward. It starts by building a private, almost sacred space just for ourselves. The incredible author Toni Morrison gave us the absolute perfect metaphor for this. She called it her secret garden, a place where she had total creative freedom, total personal sovereignty, a place that the outside world just couldn't touch. And look, this isn't just some beautiful, poetic idea. It's a real concept from places like Jungian psychology and even play therapy. Think of the secret garden as this safe container. It's a zone where you can take all the messy, chaotic, confusing parts of your inner world and just explore them. You can process them and put them together without any judgment or real-world consequences. Yeah, this is the vibe we're talking about. It's a non-stressed environment where we can just play, we can experiment, and we can feel whole. This is the workshop, the artist studio. It's like sandbox mode for your soul. And this is where the real work of creating yourself actually begins. But here's the cool part. You don't have to navigate this inner world all by yourself. To really find your way, you need a crew. Think of it as an inner council, made up of these powerful, fundamental energies that, believe it or not, exist inside all of us. So let's meet the crew. Drawing on some classic psychological work, these are the four primary archetypes. You've got the king or the monarch, who brings order and centeredness. You've got the warrior, for getting things done, for decisive action. The magician is all about knowledge, wisdom, and transformation. And the lover, well, that's our source of connection, passion, and creativity. Together, these four energies are like the bedrock of a whole, integrated person. Okay, but here's the crucial twist. It's not that simple. Each one of these powerful archetypes has two sides. There's the mature, integrated, conscious version, and then there's its opposite, an unintegrated, destructive shadow version. So your whole journey really becomes a series of choices. Are you going to walk the upright path and embody the conscious, mature energy of the king? Or are you going to fall into the reverse state, that unintegrated shadow, where the king becomes the tyrant? Every single choice you make is a test and a strengthening of your own personal agency. So let's look at how this all builds into the journey itself. You can actually frame this whole process of choosing and integrating as a kind of therapeutic gameplay. I love this idea. It's where deep psychology meets the sheer power of play. And listen, this isn't just a game for the sake of it. The whole structure is actually grounded in the proven principles of something called narrative therapy. It's a really powerful psychological approach that literally helps people rewrite their own life stories, and it follows these four key steps. And here's how it all maps out. It's so clever. The therapeutic idea of externalizing the problem becomes the game mechanic of choosing an avatar. The process of reauthoring your identity happens through the choices you make on your path, and you develop agency by working towards and finally earning a unique artifact. It just makes these really deep concepts so much more tangible and actionable. Which brings us to the most crucial point of all. The entire experience, the garden, the archetypes, the gameplay, it's all designed for one core purpose: to help you actively forge a new, preferred story for yourself. It all comes back to this foundational idea from narrative therapy. It sounds so simple, but it has these massive implications. The person is not the problem. The problem is the problem. The moment you separate your identity from your struggles, you give yourself the power and the space to completely change your relationship to them. And you can see this is a very real journey. It's about making that shift from a limiting problem story, like, say, Lonely Boy, which is defined by things outside your control, to a preferred story, like a songwriter on top of the world, which you define through your own actions and choices. You actually become the author of your own life. And the reward for completing this whole journey, it isn't just some abstract feeling of accomplishment. Nope. It culminates in something you can actually see and hold, a symbolic artifact that represents your entire process of transformation. It's called your personal arcana card, and it's basically the philosopher's stone of your personal journey. It takes all your key choices, your core insights, your final integration score, and it synthesizes them into this one-of-a-kind, permanent symbol of the new reality that you have authored for yourself. It is a testament to your agency. Ultimately, this whole thing is really an invitation to do what the great mythologist Joseph Campbell urged all of us to do. It's about finding that path that is uniquely yours, your bliss, and then having the courage to walk it with real intention. So, as we wrap this up, just try to remember this simple framework. The secret garden is the safe space to begin. The archetypes are the tools for the work. And the journey, well, the journey is a game of conscious self-creation. So the only real question left is, what story will you create?